Hey guys, Goresh here. Today I want to take a look at the upcoming LR Tech Broly that will soon be making his way to the global version of Dokkan Battle, and also take a look at some of the teams that I think he could fit best on. And just first things first, if you guys aren't aware, there's this really good website that lets you team build. You actually get there by going through DBZ Space. I'm sure you guys all know DBZ Space if you've been playing Dokkan for any amount of time. The way you get there is you just go to DBZ Space, you scroll all the way down, and you see this team building link. You click that, and then that opens up this website here. It's extremely useful because it lets you sort by categories, rarity, typing, super versus extreme, and then when you're building the actual team, it tells you how many links are shared between certain units. So that I think makes this website extremely valuable, and I haven't really seen this feature on any other site that I've seen. But that aside, the first team that we're going to be taking a look at here is the Resurrected Warriors team, which actually is the Broly's leader skill. He gets 130% across the board, HP attack and defense, and then plus 4 key to Resurrected Warriors. And just for explanation purposes, we're going to be using this Broly as the Tech LR Broly because he's actually not in the database yet for this website. And he shares all the same links as the Tech Broly does, so just imagine that he's Tech Broly. And so overall with this team, we're going to be having him link up with the original STR LR Broly. As you can see, they share all 6 links that they have. Obviously, that they'll share legendary power, so they'll actually be sharing 7 links. And then the other rotation we'll have is the Angel Golden Frieza paired up with the Tech Golden Frieza. And obviously this being global, Tech Golden Frieza does not yet have his EZA, so the rotation's a little bit weaker on global, but as soon as his Tech Golden Frieza is able to get his EZA, this rotation will become a lot more powerful. And especially with having the friend Angel Golden Frieza sort of floating, this rotation will get a lot more powerful when that Frieza comes on this rotation because obviously, as you can see, these 2 units share 4 links. Universally Most Malevolent, Revival, Strongest Stand in Space, and Fierce Battle. So 4 key and then 30% attack is pretty good. And then in the floating position, we can have Kid Buu, very solid, 50% attack and defense, plus the 2 key that he gets after EZAing. And then the Int Metal Cooler, always good, gives 2 key and 30% attack. And then something else that's pretty interesting, what you could do with this team actually, is you can actually have a friend Tech LR Broly as a leader, because as I said earlier, he gives 130% to HP attack and defense, and 4 key. And as you guys probably know, with the new LR Broly, I wouldn't say he struggles for key, but it's not his strong suit, because in total he can only get up to a maximum of 3 key through the same lineage and prepare for battle. So having a friend Broly bring that extra 1 key essentially lets the LR Broly start at 10 key, which is pretty good. Because that means he only needs to get 6 key spheres, or 6 key, to boost him up to getting his Ultra Super attack, consistently. And something else that's good too is having a friend Broly. I mean, him floating lets him pretty much stay out of harm's way pre-transformation, and then he's still able to transform and then activate his active skill, on the 4th turn. And you guys, I'm sure you guys at this point have seen how much damage he can do. I mean, I've seen rotations of him dealing over 9 million attack stat. But yeah, that's sort of the Resurrected Warriors team I wanted to look at. I would say that this is actually the weakest of the teams that I want to show you guys today, but I think having the ability to bring the friend Tech Broly is actually pretty good, and it opens the door for flexibility that you can use when building this team. Next team I want to take a look at is the Movie Bosses team. Now, I actually have 2 Movie Bosses teams here that I want to look at, but this first one is going to be just more focused around damage output and sort of just clearing events as fast as possible. In terms of where you would use this team, I'd say, just more so along Boss Rush, Dokkan events, sort of those easier, lower tier events that are very easy to clear. But this team is, the damage that you will deal with this team is actually pretty crazy. And then the question would be, what friend do you bring? Do you bring a Turles or do you bring a physical Broly? And I'd say with a team like this, you constantly want supports as your floater. So I think bringing a Turles as a friend would be certainly the better way to go here. I mean, you're gonna have Turles. Let's pretend there's a Turles here as a friend, and then this Frieza, who obviously reduces damage by 30%, gains defense after being hit, and then gives movie bosses Ki +2 and attack and defense plus 30%. So constantly having support units on the third slot during all of your rotations will allow obviously the Beerus rotation to be much stronger, and then it'll make the TEQ Broly a lot more powerful as well, because as you guys know, TEQ Broly, he gets, while he's transformed, 100% attack and defense on his super attack, and then an additional 88% on his ultra super attack. And the way that the math works out is whenever you have a passive where you gain attack on super attack, having support type units on the rotation is extremely helpful, because it actually becomes more potent than if you had a passive where you gained attack at the start of the turn. So yeah, I mean, same sort of deal here as we had with the last team. They have the Strength Broly and the TEQ LR Broly both on the same rotation. And then, I mean, this Beerus rotation is just one of the strongest in the game. They do so much damage. And next, this is sort of the second version of the Movie Bosses team, except I think this version is going to fare a lot better in more difficult modes like Super Battle Road or the new Goku event. You know, overall, I think this team would be extremely, extremely good, because think about the defense that you guys will have. This Broly is a defensive beast. Cooler is not bad defensively, and then Janemba can pretty much tank any event in the game and be fine. And I think on this team, you would actually prefer to bring a physical Dragon Ball Super Broly friend, and that's just this guy. And that's just because bringing 2 Turleses in events like Super Battle Road or the Goku event, it might get dangerous at points because they take a lot of damage, especially when they're not transformed. But I think a unit like Dragon Ball Super Broly, he can tank well, he does a lot of damage by himself, and his transform state allows him to be self-sufficient as well. So he's not really hurting units around him by stealing their ki, because he doesn't really need any ki to super attack. And so that's this team. And then the last team I want to take a look at, it's sort of, you have a lot of options with this team, but it's the Pure Saiyan team. And I was actually looking through all the units you could potentially bring on this team to find out who would link up the best with this Broly, and I think that the one you would want to link up with him is actually this Goku, the Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku, full power, whatever you want to call it. And then they share 4 links, so they share Saiyan Lineage and Perfect Battle, which are the most important links because those are the key links that the LR absolutely needs to get his super attacks off. And then they share Super Saiyan and First Battle. I mean, those are generally the LR's best links. You also have stuff, you know, like Berserker and stuff, and other links that aren't really going to be activated that often. But I think these 4 are like the main 4 that you always want to have active for the LR. And then on your second rotation, so what you can do is, I definitely think you should bring this Broly, because this Broly is just, he's insane. He's like one of the best cards in the game, in my opinion. But then you could also bring either this Vegeta or this Vegeta as your leader. And you know, it's really up to you and what your playstyle is like, because while this Vegeta gives, this Vegeta gives 150% across the board, this Vegeta gives 170 to attack and defense, and then 130% to attack. So if you feel like you might want to, you know, lean towards the side of caution more often than not, I would suggest bringing this Vegeta. They share the same amount of links. I would say this Vegeta is actually a little bit better than this Vegeta. Blue Vegeta, I'd say, is better. But, you know, you could never go wrong with either one of them. This guy's being more defensive than this guy most of the time. And then in terms of floaters, you can bring, I think this Paradox and Broly is like mandatory for this team. And then, you know, Turles is Turles. And then you also have the option of bringing this Super Saiyan God Goku as a floater. If you ever find yourself, you know, struggling for ki with the TEQ Broly, or anyone really, but I think TEQ Broly, being the only LR on the team, would be the one to struggle for ki the most. So, yeah, if you guys ever find yourself struggling for ki, I would say replace Turles, because he doesn't give any defense, and I think defense for this team is very important. But this God Goku can provide a lot of extra ki for the LR, because he changes orbs to rainbow. So And in addition to that, he can also tank decently well by himself, well, at least better than Turles can. So yeah, he's always a good option. I think this is a fantastic card that's not overlooked by a lot of people, but I don't think he's praised enough. So yeah, those are the 4 teams that I wanted to take a look at. I did look into the other categories that the Broly is on, which are Transformation Boost and Full Power. But I just feel like as far as Full Power goes, there are better options for that team, and I think Ki would really be an issue on that team. And for Transformation Boost, it kind of falls into the same boat. You really want support units floating in that 3rd spot, and with Transformation Boost, you're going to have 2 of the Strength Super Boos there, which really aren't not helping out Broly at all. And even if you have him linked up with someone like Blue Gogeta or one of those other Saiyans, like maybe even transforming Super Saiyan Goku, I don't think he would be able to recognize his full potential on that team, so I just didn't even bother making a team for that. But if we ever do get a leader for that team that's not Strength Transforming Super Boo, that can provide some sort of support utility, whether it be just a boost for Ki for allies or orb changing in any way, then I think we can start to think about creating a team with this Broly in it for transformation boosts. But until that happens, I would say, yeah, these 4 teams are what we're looking at right now in terms of what this Broly could really shine on. So that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions in terms of teams or units that you would swap out on any of these teams. I will definitely pull on the Broly banner, but I'm not sure how deep I'm going to go. I'm definitely not going to go for the rainbow no matter what, but I'm hoping to at least pull 3 copies so I can max out his crits and additionals. So hoping to get you guys some showcase videos for him shortly, and I'll see you guys in the next one.